Yes, I know. That image of God dying was pretty dramatic, and of course we're not meaning that God is dying. God's more alive than ever. But the idea we had of God, that is dying. Thank God. Excuse the pun. So what does that really mean for organised religion? Wait, Jamie, isn't what you just said complete sacrilege? Well, it's just that. It's the idea of God, literally, that keeps you separate from God. Do we see? A true Christian knows better than to believe in their mind an image of a man in the sky. What was the teaching? Something like, don't believe in fake idols. Well, an image of God is not God. It's a fake image, isn't it? They know God is within. And a true Hindu also is never giving their power away to a massive elephant Ganesha in the sky. They're using these symbols to empower themselves in an element of strength, which is what Ganesha represents, that's within themselves. It's all an internal journey. Well, we're going to talk about all of this and a little bit more in this video today, but first let's go back in time and talk about the Big Bang. First, there was nothing. Then, there was something, right? But then there's that age-old wisdom piece, isn't there? Surely nothing can't be created from nothing, right? There must have been something before the Big Bang, some consciousness, some seed of life and of manifestation. We see through all of our stories from many faiths, from many religions, an idea about the word of God creating the world. If you look at the Yogic tradition, it was the sound of Om that created the manifest world. So perhaps we could translate this as vibration. Vibration and sound is the beginning of manifestation, the Big Bang. Okay, cool. But what was before that? Well, to understand that, let's look at you. Science is now beginning to prove that you are literally stardust. You, physical you, are partly alien. But is physical you all that you are? Well, in this world, for it to be manifest, it has to have a shape, doesn't it? A colour or a form. This is a world of forms, right? Find me something in this world with no form. You can't, right? Even wind, something only perceptible perhaps by touch or feeling. It's got a form, hasn't it? You can't see it, you can feel it for sure. Even in your internal world, you can observe thoughts, emotions. They all have a form too, don't they? They're perceptible by something deeper. But where you're perceiving all of this from, does that have a form? Is it perceptible? The answer is no. Just in the same way a knife can't cut itself, you can't see yourself on the inside. Yes you can, Jamie, you can see yourself in the mirror, right? Wrong. You can see physical body in the mirror, but are your thoughts reflected in the mirror? Or your emotions? Well, they might be, because you might be having a moody face, but no. Yet they're still part of you, aren't they? They are. In the same way, that which observes the thoughts inside of yourself, does that show up in the mirror? No, apart from the fact that it's the light behind your eyes, but no, it doesn't. So really, we're looking at something a little bit deeper than physical, aren't we? Another example, in case you didn't quite catch this one, is imagine a table in front of you, yeah? It's got a ball and a candle on it. You see it outside of you, yes? It's got a form. Okay, so then close your eyes. And now think of that same table. Visualize it deeply. You see it in front of you? Cool. Is it still outside of yourself? The answer's no, isn't it? You know, it's inside, you might say. Okay, so thoughts and emotions are also inside, right? They can be observed just like the mental image of the table in my example a moment ago, yeah? So close your eyes and imagine that table again. Where are you looking from at this imaginary table? Maybe you say, it's my brain. I am my brain, you know? That's quite interesting. My brain. The word my denotes ownership, doesn't it? So if I say this is my cup, I own it, yeah? But if I start to say this cup is me, I start to seem crazy. Okay, my brain, this is my brain, yeah? My brain. Well, if it's mine, how can it be me? If I start calling it me, again, am I starting to look a little cuckoo? My brain. Who is the my behind? And deeper, than brain who claims ownership over it. Like my body, isn't it? The clue is so simple. Where you're looking from at mind and visualizing the table and the thoughts and the emotion from, does this have a form or a shape? No. And is it you? Yes. But it's not physical, right? How can it be? You've just admitted that it has no form. It's deeper than brain, thoughts, emotion, and even table or cup, right? You are formless. So you could say you're formless, living in form, in a form world. Like the astronauts that go to space, they have to put on a spacesuit to survive the alien terrain, right? Well, as formless spirits, we have to put on a strange spacesuit called body to live in this alien terrain called Earth. So now we've learned the truth of life and existence. No small thing in under 5 minutes, by the way. Let's connect up a few more dots that we started with. You are both form, alive, and formless, dead, at the same time. Stay with me here because this is important to understand later. Two sides of the same coin then that we call life, alive and dead, form, formless, both operating at the same time. Well then, was there something before the Big Bang that brought form into the world? Perhaps an unseen, formless undercurrent upon which all of manifestation is birthed from? If we use our limited human minds, for example, to imagine such a thing, we imagine a total blackness, right? And the closest thing I could imagine to that in this physical world is soil, but it's a great representation. A vast array of blackness, right? Yet it holds the seeds of life. Imagine putting a seed into the soil. You can't see the seed, but it is there. And in time, with the right conditions, it will sprout and create life. So the seed of life is in the dark and dingy mud. Well, that seed of life must too be in the vast infinite blackness that the mind conjures up before the time of the Big Bang. You also are a representation of the Big Bang. You, in your experience of life, came from nothing into manifestation and will return to nothing. But in the same way that a tree will grow out of that seed, it will drop its seeds and die. Those seeds will become another tree. In the same way, you contain that seed also, but not just the physical seed. You contain the soil, the blackness, the void that nurtures the seed into life. You are unmanifest and manifest at the same time, just like life has always been also. Okay, so back to the idea of God is dying, right? Why is that? Well, because of exactly that. It's just an idea that we can't prove and sounds frankly more like a silly child's story, much like Father Christmas. It becomes really obvious, doesn't it, at a very young age that there's not a bearded man in the sky coming to deliver you presents, nor is there one in the sky ruling all. But actually, some of you may well know, there's more of a story to the Father Christmas thing, and it's linked to Kundalini, and maybe we'll talk about that later. Comment below if you know what I mean. But when the idea, the mental image or the concept of something is seen to be false, then, and only then, can a real connection be made to the truth of life, which is experiential, which is the seed of life, the unmanifest, or for better words, the Creator, or God. And He resides in you. Because we're all fragments, or we're all shards of that God, that one energy. And when you experience this viscerally inside yourself, then you no longer have to believe in some external God, some external mental made-up image. You know it as an experience within you. And we call this yoga. Yoga means union. So if you're interested in diving deep into the proper practices, true, authentic yoga, straight from the heart of the tradition, the undiluted magic of it all revealed to you, so that you can use those magical tools to bring about aliveness in the system and shift the trajectory of your life and experience profound levels of bliss, peace, and a deeply connected center to life, then you can sign up for our 6-month intensive. The link for that to apply is down below. But of course, what we've given here is a wonderful idea. It's not the final answer. If we take this and it just becomes another concept in the mind, then we've not really done much, have we? Apart from get a little bit more educated mentally. We've served the intellect. Great. But that's not going to get you where we want to go. If you want to know how to get where we want to go, first we need to understand the silent hack that spiritual teachers aren't talking about. But we'll tell you what it is in that video. Lots of love. Namaste.